Hello and welcome to Brian's Got Game. I'm Brian. Today, we've got a game called Elevator. Elevator is a 2 to 9 player card game by Sarah Blair. This is a re-themed version of a popular card game known as... This now family-friendly card game is fast-paced and tons of fun. So, let's check it out, and I'll show you how to make the elevator go up and down, how to clear all the cards by getting off the elevator, and how to go back to the first floor in Elevator. To set up, you deal all the cards to each player. There's the first set of cards, 2, and set 3. Okay, so then each player deals 3 cards in front of them. They are not allowed to look at these. These cards are used near the end of the game only. So you can set them up however you want in front of you. Doesn't really matter. So then you draw 5 cards. This will be your hand, but first we have to make a selection with our hand. So, you look at all your cards. So, we have a 5, a 1, an 8, and a 3. So, the point of this is an elevator game called Elevator, and you play 1 card, and then the next player has to play something higher. Ones are wild, and you can play them at any time, and it sets it all over. So, those are good for at the end of the game. So, he's going to choose the 1, the 5, and the 8. So, they lay this in front of these, on top of the 3 cards that they're not allowed to look at, and they put those there, and then they draw 3 cards. Then, it's the next player. The cards go from 1 to 12. There is a 13th card, but it is another wild. It's the exit card, and it's getting off the next player. You take all the cards here, and then you remove them. So, that player. This player looks. 6s. If you play a 6, it resets it. It starts at 6, and it goes down. So next, they can play a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, or a 1. If a 1 is when a 1 is played, it goes back to normal, but only when a 1 is played. So 6 is good, 3 is good, and 11 is good. So you also want high numbers at the end, when they're all gone. So then you drop it. Put the hand like that, so it's easier to see. So then they look at this. You have the set here. 6 is good, and a 2 and a 5. So you play those on top of there. Then you draw it. Now you're ready to begin. First player begins. So they look at their hand and choose a moderately low card. They're going to play 5. And then they draw immediately. Then it's the next player, clockwise. And they play a card that's higher. So they play an 8. Then they draw. And they play a 9. They look at their cards, and they play their 11. When you play your 6, you have to play it normally. Like, after anything lower than 5, you can't play a 6 at any time. However, you can play a 13 and a 1. So then they play a 12. So, play continues until one player cannot play, because they don't have anything higher. However, they have a 1, so they reset that back. But if they didn't have... You can also play the same number. Now, if they didn't have these cards, and they couldn't play, then they would have to pick up all these cards and put them in their hand. So then they would play. However, if you play the 13th card, or the exit, the wild getting off, all the cards there are then taken and then removed from the game. So that helps clean up the hands a bit. So those are usually saved for a good time. I'm playing this card, 10, so now I draw my last card. Now, before I can play these cards, I have to get rid of my hand. So this is a game where you're trying to get rid of your hand. So I'm going to try to, every turn I want to run out of cards so I can play an 11, a 3, or a 6, and then after that I randomly choose. So let's say it goes on like this, and I have 1 card left, and I'm able to play it. So then I choose a card here. Play an 11, and play continues. if this was valid, I would finally get rid of my last card, if it was valid. Otherwise, I'd have to take up all of them. Then, you lay all 3 out in front of you, mix them up or whatever, and choose one and play it. If it is valid, then you continue playing as normal. If it is invalid, you pick up all the cards. And now, I have to get rid of all these wonderful cards before I can play either of these. So it gives a chance for the other players to catch up. So, that's valid, and that's valid. The game ends when one player has no more cards at all. Shuffle them up and play again. And that's how you play Elevator. Okay, got my dad here for parents' opinion. So Dad, what do you think of Elevator?
I thought Elevator was a lot of fun. I think it's one of those games that is great, even 2-player, 3-player, all the way up to 9. So it's real quick, it's fast, easy to learn. This one's a great game for large get-togethers.
The components are really nice. You have the cards, however, this is just a prototype version, so it's not the completed.
Yeah, the original game was played with just a deck of cards, and so this just adds the elevator theme to it. And so if the Kickstarter is successful, then what you're going to get is a deck of cards with the nice-looking, old school elevator on the back, and then kind of the numbers that are rethemed so that you can go up, down, and get off and start back at the beginning.
The artwork's nice. Like I said, it's just the cards, so you have the numbers, and then you have the circle in the center, and then if it's a wild card, the stuff.
Yeah, I really like the design.
And then, like you said, the old school elevator on the back.
Yeah, the elevator looks cool, and I like the design of the layout of the numbers on the card. So, really good job with that aspect of how it looked.
There's quite a bit of strategy in this game. It's a old game that you play with your normal deck of cards, but it's just reskinned. So, and some things are tweaked. So, you've got a bunch of hands, cards played, and you gotta play a card higher than it. And you have 3 special cards that get rid of the cards, start going, making the numbers go down, and then restarting it. So, it's like, do I want to play this, save it for next turn, or save it for a rainy day?
Right, that's where all the strategy comes in.
And then your 3 cards that you play. And then when you put your 3 cards down...
At the very beginning, you can play maybe 2 of a kind, if you have 2 of a kind, or a wild. Those are really good cards to play. And then there's the luck element when you get to the end and you're doing, you have the blind cards.
To help the other players catch up.
Right. I think that's a really cool mechanism. Because you may feel like, you have the whole stack of cards and you're out of it. But, if you play your cards right, you can get everybody to pick all those up and play multiple cards at a time. And then be back in the game. So
when I was playing, I was really super lucky. So I had all my cards, and I flipped one over. It was a 1. So then, when the turn came around again, I turned it over. It was a 1. And then whenever I turned over the card, it was a 3rd. No, it was a 12.
Yeah, so just high enough.
Just high enough so I could go bam, bam, and I'm in.
So you were very lucky with your 3 blind cards. So yeah, but there's a bit of strategy here, deciding when to play cards, when to hold them, and when to play the wilds.
So it's pretty easy for kids. They gotta know how the numbers are, which is really, really easy to learn. And then you also have the idea that 13's the highest, 1 resets it, and 6 makes the numbers go down.
Right. Yeah, so it's really easy to play with the little ones. There's not a lot of reading. They know their numbers. They can pick up on this. Really super easy. I did find that the little ones weren't too keen on having to pick up the whole stack of cards when they couldn't play. But I think that's overcome when they understand what the game is, and that's part of the game. So I think this is definitely one that you can play with all ages.
Yeah. Overall, it's a really good game. You have nice components. The artwork is beautiful. Strategy, and it's really easy for kids.
Yep. Very well done. We like Elevator. I hope that it funds, and so that everybody can have a copy of Elevator on their shelf.
Thank you for watching Brian's Got Game. Please like us on our Facebook. Send us a tweet at Brian's Got Game. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Brian. This is my dad. See you next time.